Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel. Some of you might be a little bit tired of seeing this mug right now because I've been pumping videos out like a flipping hose pipe filling up a swimming pool. They're coming out every single couple of minutes. But we are back today with the first of my Champions League previews. And I've literally, in the process of doing this introduction, I've come up with a concept as to how this is going to work. And I actually think it's bloody genius, to be honest. So I've managed to get the big man himself, Big Younes, on the channel. Mate, how the bloody devil are you?
I'm very, very well, bro. I'm very well. I hope you're good too. Yeah, keep pumping the content out. You know what's mad? I was relatively calm up until yesterday's Europa League final. And I watched that and it gave me like a sort of feeling of what's coming. And I even felt nervous for them, and I was a neutral, so I can't even begin to think what's going to happen on Saturday. I'm starting to get nervous. I'm really starting to get nervous now, man. I don't know if it's the same for you, surely.
Yeah, it's very similar. Like yesterday I was about to tweet something, and I was thinking, oh, it's 4 days. I'm like, no, actually it's 3. It's one less than I anticipated. And then obviously today's 2 days away from the Champions League final. But I do have one more question about your Europa League preferences yesterday. Were you one of those people who wanted to laugh publicly at Man United, or do you think to yourself, we'll just wait because it could be us at the weekend? Which side of the fence did you sit on?
A bit of both. I'm not going to lie, a bit of both. In the moment, I wasn't bothered who would win, but I did say in advance, if United loses, it will be funny. So I had a couple of giggles, but I do have at the back of my head, yeah, we can't do too much of that because on Saturday you never know. So yeah, a bit of both.
Yeah, it's one of those in football, I think, where whatever happens on Saturday night, the floodgates will probably open, at least for me. I don't want to speak for everybody else, but like, you're either crying because you're happy that you win, you know, sobbing into whoever's next to your shoulder just because, well, you know, there's not many days worse than losing a Champions League final, as we have experienced before. Younes,
yeah, man.
Do you remember? Well, first off, start with the loss, because I think what I really wanted to get from these videos, so I'm doing one with you now, I'm doing one with Rory tomorrow. What I really want to get from it is like the emotional side of following football and what it obviously means to us, not just because we make these videos, but because we love Chelsea Football Club. We experience such vast polarities in emotions that people that don't necessarily follow football might not understand. But if you can throw yourself back to Moscow, I know it's not one that anyone really wants to revisit, but just summarize in a few words to the best that you can the feeling that you experienced on that day when we were beaten by United in the final.
Oh, blimey, it goes back, doesn't it? I mean, we're going to show our age with this one. Because I think we've got some viewers here that didn't even watch that final. So,
yeah.
No, 2008. You know what? Something felt off about that night. And I don't know what it was. I obviously, there was the hope that, you know, we'd do it because it's a Champions League final. But something felt off, especially with the fact that under Avram Grant, we'd, you know, not won the league. We came close, but not done it. We'd lost to Spurs in the other cup final, came close, didn't do it. And now we'd gone into a Champions League final against a United team at the time that were looking quite solid. Obviously, Avram Grant stepping in, Mourinho had left, all of that. Something just felt off. Obviously, you don't know up until you lose it. When we were in that penalty shootout, and I remember JT slipping, I'm just thinking, oh my God. You know, it felt like, you know what, we're about to do it in the greatest way. JT is about to win us the Champions League. And when he slipped, hit the post, I'm thinking, I can't believe this. But you always have that little bit of hope of, yeah, let's just keep going. We've got this. Fingers crossed we've got this. Sudden death, just United to miss one penalty and we're good. And when Anelka stepped up, you could just see there was nerves written all over his face. Like, it just didn't feel right. It didn't feel right. And it was a horrendous penalty. A terrible, terrible penalty. That heartbreak is just disastrous, man. I don't want to feel that again. I really don't want to feel that again.
I'm very impressed that you managed to actually talk about that so clearly for just over a minute, I think, from the recording. So to actually be able to recall that so well means that it is still maybe a little bit fresh in the memory. For me personally, in terms of talking about like the bad end of the spectrum, yeah. I actually remember feeling 10 times worse. No exaggeration. I felt awful after we lost that final. But Barcelona the year after for me, I broke my television. I didn't go to school the next day because I was pretty sure that if I did, I would end up being suspended or expelled for whatever behaviour I chose to blame that match on. For me, that was just, well, Didier Drogba said it in as great of a term as he possibly could have done. I will put the clip in here.
And I don't think, with the greatest respect, that a referee from Norway is the strongest official you can put down. This is supposed to be the...
It was bad, but in terms of remembering back to 2012, I'll start with where I was and then we'll find out where you were. I was actually sat on my grandma's couch with my girlfriend at the time, and my nan is like, she's a Man United fan, and she actually laughs at how much football means to me. You know, like when they kind of understand, so they know that if you want to come and watch the TV, because I was living with my nan at the time, you want to watch the TV, and she's there watching Emmerdale, but it's like, no, Nan, sorry, there's the build-up now. Can we watch it now? She's like, yeah, George, no problem, of course. But with 8 minutes to go, that's when it began. That's when the floodgates open. I'm sat there, I'm thinking, we're not going to win it. We're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. And then throughout the whole of extra time and Drogba's equaliser at the end of the game was just the most incredible feeling. And then throughout the whole of extra time, I think in my head, I was thinking like, we've actually got this. There's no way after all of this story and as it's like just become this beautiful, beautiful narrative. And then there's no way after Czech saves Robben's penalty, there's absolutely no way that we can't win this. So I actually got a bit better. And then it's like shaking the Coke can, throwing a Mento in when Drogba scores that winning penalty, and the rest is flipping history. I was literally like an overflowing Coca-Cola bottle. No sponsor intended at all. And if you'd like to, then feel free to get in touch. But absolutely sensational. And obviously now I'm a bit older, and I feel like as you get older and you delve into football even more, I didn't think I was going to be as nervous. But it's even bloody worse. Younes, what were you doing in 2012 when we lifted that famous Big Ear trophy?
You see, that year, in coming up to that final, this is the difference. It felt different to 2008. It's the complete opposite. With 2012, you just had that feeling that it was written in the stars. And that's not being cliche. That's just being legit. At the time, everything just somehow went in our favour. I mean, I watched the semi-final and I was at uni. And I remember that second leg where Torres went round Valdez. Even prior to that, JT gets sent off. We're down to 10 men. We're at the new camp. We're 2-0 down now because Iniesta scored. There's no way. I remember turning to my mates at the student bar at uni, and we were like, all just looking at each other like, we've lost this. We're out. There's just no way we're coming back from this. And we somehow made a comeback. You move into the final, you concede in the 83rd minute, and you just think, all right, now it's done. We've lost. There's no way we're scoring in 7 minutes. And then you do. And that's the point. When Drogba scored that header, it clicked. I was like, we're going to win the Champions League tonight. There's just no way this doesn't happen. We're winning it. And when Robben missed that penalty and Czech saved it, that was confirmation. That was confirmation. I was like, yeah, this is written. There's no way. The universe wants this to happen. Anything that you believe in, any higher power or something, they want it to happen. Chelsea will be winning the Champions League tonight. I don't care what anyone says. We're doing it. So that's the difference. With 2008, something felt off, and with 2012, it all felt very much on. And then we went and did it, and we did it in the most beautiful way with Drogba scoring. I was watching the final at home, so I'd come home and I was with my dad and with my best mate at the time. And yeah, we just went mental. When Drogba scored, we all jumped into our balcony, started screaming like maniacs. I think the entire whole neighbourhood heard us. And then my dad turned to us and said, all right, I am going out now and I'm going to buy the biggest bottle of JD. And he did, and the rest is history.
The rest is indeed history. So obviously as Chelsea fans, first of all, we're very lucky. Remember, if you're watching this video, we are very lucky to be competing in these competitions. Yeah. And I think sometimes, as Chelsea fans, we do get a bit carried away. I remember sitting here many times this season where we've put in an average, feeble performance, and I sit here as if the world's going to end, and I criticise the team, the manager, the players, whatever it may have been that needed criticising. I sit there and do that. But I think it's very important, as of right now, with 2 days to go until the Champions League final, that we really soak up this atmosphere that we're building for ourselves, be it through videos, be it through social media, with our conversations with our family, friends, other Chelsea fans. It's really important to enjoy these moments, because To be in a Champions League final, it is without question the biggest club competition football match individually in the world in terms of global interest, in terms of the quality of football. The Club World Cup, you can sit on your backside. The Champions League is what everybody wants to win. The Club World Cup is like the cherry on top of the cake, as people say. I often drag that little saying out for about 30 seconds longer than I need to. But we do have to look forward to the game. We do have to talk a little bit about how Chelsea might beat Manchester City, because I think, by all accounts, the footballing world sees Chelsea as underdogs for this game, correctly so, because of how great Manchester City have been this season. But Younes, if you had to pinpoint one player in the Chelsea team who you think is the designated match winner for us and whose performance is the most important and key to Chelsea winning it, who would that player be?
Oh, that's difficult. That's difficult. I mean, a designated match winner, I think, we struggle to even say who's going to score every week. So, I mean, that's tough. In terms of a player that's going to make the difference, it's hard to pinpoint it on one player. I think of Mason Mount, for example, and being able to defend from the top and, with the press and being able to be as direct as he can be. But I also look to some others like Pulisic or a Ziyech or a Havertz to be able to cause that mayhem up top, which sometimes we do really well and sometimes we lack. But if there's one player that I just hope, and I know he's going to play, that can be the difference, it's Timo Werner. It is Timo Werner.
Yes.
Whether it's scoring goals or whether it's causing mayhem up top, whether it's dragging defenders out, whether it's using his pace, his strength, whatever, on or off the ball, that movement and that threat, and hopefully being clinical. Yeah, if there's one night in his life where he needs to be clinical and stick the ball in the net, it's on Saturday, and I'll forget the rest of the season. Right? It's as simple as that. So I'm looking to Timo. No pressure. I don't want to put added pressure on because we know what he's like. But Timo Werner is the man that I think has the key to make the ultimate difference.
Yeah, I think it's actually an interesting one with Timo, because I think if Chelsea fans were to really break down players who we are 100% convinced deserve to start the game, and then you also factor into that all of the options that Tuchel has and the nature of what Tuchel's done with his team selections so far this season, where it's been very, very difficult to predict. We've really chopped and changed things around a lot. I'd actually say, I wouldn't want to speak for every Chelsea fan, but for me at least, I understand how great Timo is at what he does bring to the team, but I think there are definitely other players that might miss out at Timo's expense who might actually deserve to be in the starting 11 a little bit more. But in terms of the approach that Tuchel's going to take to this game, do you think that we're going to see Chelsea sit back, or do you think that Pep Guardiola is going to actually use what we've seen Chelsea struggle with in recent weeks, which is attacking against the low block side? Do you think Guardiola's actually going to maybe play a bit more of a mind game by setting his City team out to actually soak up the Chelsea pressure, counter-attack, and actually force Chelsea to have to attack a low block, as opposed to the 100% high-octane football that City often play? What do you think it's going to be?
It's a possibility, especially as the Arsenal loss, the cup final loss, Villa. It's almost looking like a blueprint on how to beat Chelsea. But when you look at the two previous occasions where we've played against Man City, and we've actually, weirdly enough, dominated the game. And we done just fine. Despite City, I think City's problem is more times than not, they have to defend by keeping the ball. It's as simple as that. If they don't have the ball and they're just having to sit back and do nothing, they actually leave themselves quite vulnerable. But if they have control of the game, like we saw them against PSG, they have control of the game, they're attacking, they're able to almost just defend by using their front players and not really put pressure on their backline or their goalkeeper. So I think Pep isn't going to steer away from his traditions, should I say, or his culture. And I think he'll set up his team to actually try and dominate the game. But if Chelsea can dominate the game, like we've seen on two previous occasions where we've beaten them, we have a chance. We have a good chance. And I think that's what Thomas Tuchel's going to set out to do, Try and keep the ball away from City, move it quickly, make space for each other. But we have to, this is the thing, we can't make a mistake. Like, Saturday is so high in terms of not making any errors. We have to be fully concentrated, committed, and on it. Simple as that. But
Yeah.
I think Tuchel will approach it in the same way as the 2 games where we've beaten them.
No, absolutely. And I completely agree with you. I often think with Guardiola and Tuchel, I think it's a very interesting matchup between 2 very smart footballing managers who are very good at adapting the way they set their teams out compared to the opponents that they're facing. But Younes, time is of the essence, and I'm aware that I'm posting a little bit too much content maybe for some people these days, so going to try and keep this one short and sweet, but it wouldn't be a Champions League final match preview without, I'm pretty sure you know what's coming,
Yeah, I do.
a score prediction. And I don't know if you've given one on your channel yet. I don't think you have because I do watch your videos, but it is the end. And if people have stayed this long, I believe they deserve to know what the big Younes himself thinks is going to happen to Chelsea's destiny on Saturday night in Portugal. What is it going to be, big man?
Oh, blimey. I'm not good with predictions, you know. But weirdly enough, I got it spot on.
That's true. Me neither. When I'm with you. When I'm not with you, I'm good. But when I'm with you, I'm bad.
Yeah, don't talk about last time we made predictions. That went to pot. No, look, I think on Saturday, I want to say, bearing in mind that Europa League final we just watched, as a neutral, and I couldn't take that penalty shootout. I was feeling nervous for everyone. So God forbid that Chelsea are in a penalty shootout again on Saturday. I don't want that happening. I don't want that happening. I'll have 15 heart attacks. I am going to predict in 90 minutes, Chelsea 2, City 1.
I knew it. I actually knew you were going to say that. Well, that is a perfectly optimistic way of wrapping up the first of 3 Champions League final previews here. There might be a 4th one. I'm currently just waiting on a certain individual to respond to a message, and maybe he doesn't. So going to leave that one there. I'll leave you hanging for that one. But Younes, as always, mate, thank you so much for coming on the channel.
No problem, my bro. No problem. Thanks for having me. And yeah, fingers crossed we get the ultimate job done and it's all guns blazing. We can start celebrating like mental for the first time in 9 years.
Oh yes, I've actually ordered 80 litres of beer to my house for this game at the weekend,
80?
which is probably going to last me a few months, but 80 litres, yeah, it's a good deal. Got a good deal. So
I'm on the way. I'm on the way.
It went big. But anyway, guys, thank you guys all for watching this video today. If you do want to go and subscribe to Younes, which you should want to do, because if you love watching Chelsea content, then you're going to love his videos. I know that for a fact. His links are in the description, all of his socials as well. And obviously, if you guys aren't signed up to GBFC Selects yet, make sure you do so. 18 plus T's and C's apply. The link is down below. We've got another grand to be won for Man City at the weekend. Thank you guys for watching. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you are new. And I will catch you all later. Come on, you Blues.